Grab your cocktails and get ready. It's Drinks with the Band with Chris Denman.
Wonderful intro from producer Matt. Welcome to the show. It's Drinks with the Band, presented by We Are Live. Big thanks to our friends at, that's right, Jack Daniels, making it happen. We bring this each and every week, 8 o'clock Central, right here on We Are Live's Facebook page, YouTube. Check it out. We really appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. We've got Ron Gallo, very talented rocker. He lives in Nashville these days. He's from Philadelphia originally. But you know what? We kick things off each and every week with the U.S. ambassador from Jack Daniels, E.T. What's up, E.T.? Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you, man.
I'm excited. I saw we posted the drink, the the Denman proof ingredients. Rears its beautiful head once again. So we'll get into that in just a bit. I do want to start things off correctly, though. I'm no shill, but I do like fashionable items. So I'm gonna christen this this fresh new hat that's been sent to me from Los Angeles.
Nice.
Let's check this out. Got to tuck the COVID mop away, and we're rocking, everybody. How's that look, Matt? How's that look?
Well, you look
good.
great.
Yeah, E.T., thank you, sir. And guys, tonight we'll come up with a fun way to win a prize. E.T.'s been killing it on the prizes. We'll send you a prize pack. Shout out to everybody who's won already. Everybody's I've spoke to personally, and then whenever they've received the packages, they're super excited. So we've got a fun picture collage coming up on a future episode. But we really appreciate everybody tuning in. And E.T., thank you for the generous gifts, man. I'm happy to see you. I look forward to this every week.
As do I.
Right?
By the way, not that music streaming services need any validation that they're working, but when I saw Ron pop up as your guest tonight, you know, like 4 or 5 months ago, I was listening to something and it said, "Oh, if you like this, you'll like this," and it was him. And now
That's
he's
great.
part of like my playlist, so it does
Yeah.
work.
His music's so great too, and it's tough to describe. I love how many styles it hits, and I love.
Yeah, it's great. It's super unique, and
it's unique. Yeah, but it's still catchy, right? Matt, producer Matt, what would you call it?
Indie. Very
no,
indie.
No, you said It has purpose.
Oh,
it's purposeful.
with intent. Yeah, it's intentional.
I agree with that. Yeah, it is. It's like it was like, oh, what's going on here? This is crazy. And then you're like, but it's also very, very easy to listen to. So we'll talk to Ron later in the show. Tonight we've got a little drink called a Kansas City Shuffle that we'll get to. I love the simplicity of it, and it actually uses something that E.T. sent me, and we'll talk more about that in just a bit. We start this show off, so we have these great musicians on, we talk to them, but we kick each show off each week with a drink, and then we talk to our friend E.T. from Jack Daniels. You're a wealth of stories, and I've been sent some more photos that we're going to showcase eventually. I don't know if we're going to pull the trigger on those tonight. Shout out to your boy. But
first
you
of
have...
all, you're talking about Michael Cook?
I absolutely am talking about Michael Cook. Shout out to Michael.
He's not a good guy. I wouldn't start this relationship with him.
Okay, that's fair.
He's the reason I have my name E.T.
Really? Did you ride in the basket of his bike?
He was born in July, same year. He's a few months younger than me. My original name, my birth name, is Eric. A few months later, he pops out, and his middle name is Eric. Coincidence? So years later, when the movie came out and I could pivot away from Eric to get away from him, I did. And then, you know, I figured I'd go away to a different state to college, so I go to Syracuse. Where does Cook go? Syracuse.
Well, he's providing some great photos, so I'm looking forward to diving into those more.
That's all I'm saying. I wouldn't trust the guy.
So E.T.'s the U.S. ambassador for Jack Daniels. He's kind enough to join us each and every week. He actually puts together these really cool packages. We do giveaways. It's very fun. We also give away a band T-shirt, whoever we're talking to. But he's a wealth of knowledge and stories. And if you're just tuning in the first time, my name's Chris Denman, host a show called We Are Live. So you can check that out outside of Drinks with the Band too. Tonight, this is a first. So we tell stories, we interweave some band comings and goings, but you've got a winner tonight, E.T. Pre-show, you told me that your own mother had a brush with greatness, and I'll just leave the rest to you, man. What's on tap tonight?
Yeah, so my mother, my father, and their two best friends, another couple, the Kelmans, and actually shout out Ted Kelman turned 80 yesterday,
Happy birthday,
same day
Ted.
as Ringo Starr. So that kind of
Absolutely.
feeds right into this story. Um, Early 70s, the whole world loved the Beatles as soon as they hit until forever. And my parents and the Kelmans were no different. So John and Yoko were coming to Philly to do some charity work, and I guess they did a show at a radio station to raise money for a charity. So my mom and Denny Kelman convinced the husbands to go stake out the radio station and see if they can meet John Lennon. And after his show, he came out and he was signing, and people were just donating money to his charity. And my mom got all the way up to the gate and just handed like some money, and I think it was a 45 of Mind Games, and security guard takes it, takes the money, puts it in the kitty, and then hands back the album signed by John Lennon. So that's great. And
Yeah.
then
That's probably the end of the great story, right?
it could be.
I'd be satisfied
Um,
with that story.
yeah, yes, that would be a good story. Except a few minutes later, John and Yoko leave. My mom and Denny push their way up to closer to the right at the barrier, and they come out again and do another lap to sign stuff. So my dad was your size. He's 6'3", was 6'3", and in the back, my mom hears. She knows it's his voice and it's packed, and he hears someone say, "I'll donate $50 if you kiss two women." And in the early 70s, $50 wasn't nothing.
Right.
So the security guard whispered in John Lennon's ear, and my mom heard John like, "Yeah, I'll do that." And he's like, "Which women?" And he points to my mom and Denny Kelman, and John Lennon comes over and kisses my mother and kisses Denny Kelman. Crazy. John Lennon kissed my mother, and my dad paid for it. Now, now you could say that story could end right there, and that's a great story, right?
Now we have two stories. I'm actually clipping the.
Right.
I'm marking this
It's
off.
a trilogy.
Yes. Okay.
It's a
There's
trilogy.
more.
Yes. Wait, there's more. It's a trilogy.
And George Harrison gave him a hug.
Yes. Right. So, of course, they frame Mind Games, the 45 signed by John Lennon. It's like the treasure of the family, and they hung it in the nice living room area, right, where you put the nice stuff, and by accident or not knowing, it was facing a window, and the signature faded, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this has been a sore subject that you can't ask my mother about for 40 years, right? I can't believe you put the picture. I can't believe you guys put the picture in front of the window. And like, the more I brought it up, the more I would see how upset she. I just stopped talking about the picture.
Right.
Until about less than a year ago, I was like, we should look into maybe there's a way that's legal where someone could retrace his signature and it doesn't ruin the fact that it's not the ink that John Lennon used. So I did some research to find out that as soon as you touch it with more ink, it's
over.
Not that we'd ever sell it, but it's not cool. So my mom was like, you know what? It's just an album cover in a frame. I'm going to get it re-signed anyway because we're not going to sell it, and we know he signed it. I'm like, I support that. So she brought the whole picture frame to a framer, didn't take it out because she was worried to touch it so old. She'd rather have a professional deal with it. The woman at the framing shop calls my mother and says, by the way, when I took out the picture, he had signed both sides. So there's a perfectly good signature on the back that had been, fossilized for 45 years.
From John
untouched
Lennon.
by sunlight.
That is a great three-pronged story.
Yeah.
I think,
So
I don't know.
It's in a proper frame with UV glass, and it will never go bad.
And it's yeah, you guys, you have to keep that in the family too. That's not going anywhere else. I'm curious too. So were you allowed to get within a couple feet of it as a kid?
I mean, after 2 years, sure, because now you couldn't see anything. But it was high enough up on the wall where when I was little, I couldn't get it anyway. And then when I was old enough, it's John Lennon's signature. No one's going to mess with that.
Yeah.
That was like, you have friends over, and that's one thing you don't touch, right? You don't
Right.
touch the John Lennon's. You couldn't touch my mother's albums and that John Lennon signature. Everything else is fair game.
I don't know if you have any. Okay, so for the prize this week for Jack Daniels, do you have a task picked out? I just got an idea.
If you, I have something.
No. What do you got? Let's hear what you got.
It really comes down to you. I'm thinking of two numbers. You pick these one of these other numbers, and each number is a different prize. So if
Okay.
you pick incorrectly, someone's going to get a really lame care package. It's really up to you.
Okay, great. And then I'm thinking people need to tell us the first piece of autographed music memorabilia they got in the comments.
Yours is that's a good way to get there, and then the prize is up to you.
How do I pick the prize for them?
You say either number 3 or number 13, and I'll tell you which prize is which.
See, you got to get into the head of ET on this one because you got to think like he doesn't like you'll put the bad thing, you'll put the good thing behind 13 because you think that I'm going to stay away from 13, but then if you really get into the twisted mind of ET, he wants me to think that, therefore picking it when actually the good prize is behind 3. I had number 33 or 3 on basketball numbers throughout my illustrious career. So I'm going to go with 3 and hope for the best.
The good news is this dastardly diabolical mind of mine, no matter what you said, was going to be the good prize.
The guy,
right? So
the guy who gives away really
number.
cool stuff every week. Yeah, he's a terrible person.
There's no way I'm sending a bad care package. You know what I mean?
No,
I
it's
can't
got
ruin my reputation at this point. So, should we tell them what the prize is so they're motivated to answer your autograph question?
Yeah, let's. So, tell me in the comments the first piece of autographed music memorabilia, whatever it was, even just a memorable one. Give me the best thing or a funny story. This is not science. I like entertainment. And I like, if it's somebody badass, let me know. If it's the Thompson twins, awesome, because I bet there's a good story with it. Let's see that in the comments, and the best one will get this Jack Daniels care package. What do they win?
So you're gonna win. You know, we keep making cocktails every week, and I keep simplifying them for you, but I want, you know, one of your listeners to have the ability to make whatever they want at home. So you get your very own Jack Daniels shaker set.
Oh,
so
nice.
You can fill it with all your cocktail needs, shake it up.
That's a good shake.
Your bar professional strainer. All right. But hey, what are you going to put in that? Well, how are you going to measure it correctly? You get your own, I believe this is a Gentleman Jack custom bar measuring tool.
Beautiful.
With all your ounces and half ounces and 3/4 ounces. Now you might say to yourself, what if I don't want to shake my drink? I want to stir it. You can do that too in your gorgeous Gentleman Jack mixing glass with your nice little bar spoon.
There,
your julep strainer.
He's thought of it all.
And to get you started, you get what we have today, the Jack Daniels cocktail bitters.
That's fantastic. And this goes a step further, too. So tell me about this bitters. Again, not a shill, but there's cool stuff going along with this.
Yeah. So, you know, look, bitters are a very used ingredient in lots and lots of cocktails. And at this point, it's 4 years ago, I think, I started thinking about Jack Daniels being such a unique American whiskey flavor-wise. Due to how it's produced, and even unique amongst Tennessee whiskeys, which are using a lot of similar techniques, like bourbon and Tennessee are very, very similar, but the way Jack is made creates Jack, which to me is a very unique whiskey. And I thought, hey, if bitters are so prominent in so many cocktails, maybe we should create a bitters that has a really good flavor profile to complement the Jack Daniels product line. So complementary flavors, like there's Jack Daniels in there, there's vanilla, there's notes of dark fruit, there's a little bit of ginger. So flavors that complement and flavors that are parallel to Jack. So it really works with the whiskey itself. And, you know, I had our assistant master distiller, Chris Fletcher, help me on, you know, use his palate on the flavors, and some of our local ambassadors help. So it's, you know, created by bartender, approved by our assistant master distiller, and hopefully enjoyed by us today and whoever gets this little care package.
That's beautiful. So definitely let us know autographed music, memorabilia, or a piece in the comments, and you could win. I'm excited.
Yeah, so it's
to try this drink
you know,
too.
and today Are we drinking yet? Is that happening?
Let's get to that drink. Yeah, and I do want to say I'm trying to think of mine. Like I remember I met. And this is I'm 36 now, so this is perfect timing. I met Mark and Tom from Blink 182, and they signed my shirt and talked to me for a minute, and I just remember thinking like, yeah, this is a really big deal. Like it was, and I was like, who knows? I probably told myself I made him laugh or something too, but for sure wore that. Finally, I like after having it, and then I ended up wearing the shirt a few times, and I was like, yeah, I gotta wash it, right? So it
Right.
went from like, what I considered at the time as a teenager, be like, oh, this will be an heirloom, to like, it's Blink 182. They were fun, and I don't have to, I don't have to save their autograph. But I remember the story. That's what and it
Yeah.
used to
No.
be.
Look.
It used to be the autograph. Now it's the selfie. We'll
Right. That's
get
true.
Ron to confirm that.
My cousin John, he's a few years younger than me. When he was a kid, he had to go in the hospital for a minute, which turned into over a month.
Oh no.
So he was in grade school. So it's pretty, it's not awesome. It's really awful. And my mom started calling this Philadelphia 76ers office to try to get a player to go visit him in the hospital to kind of cheer him up. So she finally gets through, and they're like, hey, is this date available? And I was like, yeah, he's in the hospital. Like every date's available.
Yeah.
And like, all right, on this day between these 3 hours, someone from the Sixers is going to come visit John. And my mom's like, great. So no one knew. My mom and my aunt, John's mom, went down to the hospital, and whatever time in walks Dr. J and Charles Barkley.
Excuse me.
That's who they sent. So,
well, how does that
now,
happen?
My mom, squeaky wheel. She just kept calling, and they're like, "All right."
She's like, John Lennon's lips touched my cheek.
Yeah, right. And so they showed up, and my cousin had the forethought to not only get them to sign something for him, but they said 2ET parentheses John's cousin, Charles Barkley, Dr. J. And so that was, I didn't personally get it, but that was my first autograph.
That's pretty amazing too. I'm trying to think of one other one. I got one. You know how they do the Globetrotter, like they're kind of like the veteran squad. They're like, they hit the smaller towns. It's not like a real Globetrotter game. Like maybe the guys played a few Globetrotter, and then instead of playing the Washington Generals, they'll play like the high school's all veteran team or whatever.
Gotcha.
Shout out to my mom for taking me. I was obsessed with basketball, right? And Marcus Haynes, who was a legendary guy, but he's he gray hair, and in probably in his 50s or 60s, Marcus Haynes signed like a program for me, so I remember that too. So shout out to Marcus Haynes for being one of my
awesome.
one of my first ones at in the high school gym. But let's make this drink, man. I'm pumped because you literally concepted this, you put it together for the bitters, and you kept it simple for me here on the podcast.
Yes, and yes. So all you need for this drink is a glass. You got one? Some ice.
Okay. In the glass.
In the glass. Ice goes in the glass.
Okay.
And then a little bit of...
We have a special camera shot on this. You ready for this?
Oh, nice. Well, Jack Daniels Rye. Look at that. Fancy. And then pour a shot in.
Small
ounce
one.
And a half.
A reasonable
right
one.
around there.
Okay. Jack Daniels Rye.
Nice.
Got it.
And now we just take our Jack Daniels cocktail bitters. I would start with 3 or 4 dashes. You can always add more. You just can't take it out. So 3 or 4 little dashes.
Perfect.
And then give it a little swirl with your, if you got a spoon or your finger, or just let it settle down.
Okay.
Beautiful. And
We're
enjoy.
swirled.
That's the Kansas City Shuffle.
Shuffled indeed. Cheers, my friend.
Cheers, man.
A delight as always. You've done it again. If you guys want to make this at home, so simple. Kansas City Shuffle, Jack Daniels Straight Rye, a couple dashes of the cocktail bitters that ET helped make. That's Jack Daniels brand. Large cube, some rocks. The orange would be good with this. I agree.
Yeah, orange would be good. I mean, you
Yeah.
don't. To me, I love spirits, neat on the rock, so little bitters. It just gives it more flavor. A little bit of orange twist or lemon twist would be great, but either way, that nowadays too, you don't always have everything you think you might have in your fridge. So if you have it, great. If you don't have it, no big deal.
Perfect. That's what we're going to be locked up for a while. So keeping it simple, people. That's fine with me. Hit
Right.
share if you haven't. Let's get some people jumping in here. We want to get you guys commenting. Let us know a cool autograph you got from a band, from a musician, out and about when you were a kid. Just give me a good story. Tag us and leave it in the comments, and you could potentially win the Jack Daniels prize pack this week. Producer Matt.
Yes.
Is our band member ready? Is Ron queued up?
He is ready.
Let's
Appears to be able.
not just kick ET out. We'll let the Philly guys do whatever Philly guys do when they come on
Right.
a live stream together. Ron Gallo, check out all his music. We're giving away one of his T-shirts tonight. He's got a bunch of really cool stuff in his merch store. Very talented artist joining tonight, and I'm excited. He played an NPR show yesterday, so he's been banished to this today. So thank you, ET. Cheers to you. Let's get Ron on
Cheers,
here.
man.
We can say
shit.
hi. What's up, Ron? Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, what's up, you guys? Well, I'm from Philly, man. We got some water ice going on around here. You know what I'm saying, Dave?
ET, is that how you talk in Philly? Like,
That's pretty close. My wife likes to bring it up every time I say water or gas. I say gas. She goes, "You're not pronouncing all the letters." She really loves to, and she's from Maryland, which to me, if you're comparing accents, Philly to Maryland, we're a little bit more palatable. Is that the right word for that?
Maryland
But
sneaks
somehow
in
she's
some like
escaped
country-ish too.
She somehow escaped it
Yeah.
all. She has zero accent, so she just likes to mock me.
Well,
She goes, "Oh my God, you sound like Rocky."
you're gonna have to figure that out.
I know,
ET,
I know, and
please.
oh no. Where are you from in Philly?
So I grew up in South Jersey, like 20 minutes
What
out, and then I
part?
lived in the city, a town called Marlton, right next to Cherry
man.
Hill.
Yeah.
And then I lived in the city. I lived in Fishtown, South Philly, Center City for a decade, and then I came down here.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
How about you?
That's a good part of town. Born in Philly, and I grew up in Bucks County, so a little bit outside the city, the other way from you. And
Nice.
then, but yeah, now when I go, my mom's downtown. She's in 22nd Arch, right around there. And
Nice. Art museum.
yeah, they were much closer to the art museum when they first moved downtown, but then they moved a little bit away. But it's great. I have friends in Northern Liberties in Fishtown, and it's crazy. That town is really since I left, maybe it was me, but it seems like it's gotten a lot better.
It just keeps getting better. I mean, there's a lot to improve about Philly, so it seems a lot more. The change is so drastic when things improve in Philly, because it's
Right.
coming from such a disastrous.
Hey, the guy sitting in St. Louis doesn't know what the hell you're talking about. I don't know.
Yeah,
Right.
I was there when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and
Oh yeah.
obviously the game wasn't in Philly, but we were watching it at my parents' condo, and my mom and I went out to Broad Street after they won. And at first, this is amazing, and people and it's so much love in the air.
I know
And
where
then
this is
maybe
going.
10, 12 minutes in, I looked around gotta get out of here. This is not a safe place to be right now. It just
Changes
turned
quick.
real Philly real fast, so we left.
Yeah, my
But,
dad called me. My dad and my brother, after they won, called me on the phone, screaming at the top of their lungs, "We're going into the city, EAG!" Like psycho. I was down here. They were full blown psycho, driving over the bridge from Jersey to go downtown and celebrate.
That's awesome. I flew from Nashville, your town, to Philly for the game, and this guy on the plane, big guy, he's 6'4", Philly jersey, everything Philly, and he's from Philly, lives in Nashville. He was going to Philly to pick up his brother. They were going to drive to the game, and the doors close. He stands up and starts singing the Eagles fight song, and he made the entire plane. I don't know how many people were from Philly or not from Philly sing. It was amazing, and that to me encapsulates an Eagles fan.
It really does.
That makes me happy. And before you go, E.T., Ron, give me your opinions. There's somebody who has never been to Philadelphia. Do you make that a stop whenever you're headed up that way? Is it worth the pop in? I always say that about St. Louis. Like, we get a bad rap about some stuff, but I'm like, I don't know. If you're with the right person, you'll have a damn good time.
Philly.
Yeah.
If you're asking me if you should go to Philly if you're near, yeah, it is a great town, and especially if you know what to do.
That's the key.
Great food. Always had great food. Great culture. I love the city. I think there's like, there always needs improvement in cities, but Philly's great. I would highly recommend someone going to Philly.
We'll do it. E.T., we're going to give away your prize by the end of the show. You're the man. Thank you so much. Cheers, buddy.
Awesome. All right, good to see
soon.
you.
Absolutely.
Bye, man.
E.T., we've got Ron Gallo on Drinks with the Band, live from Nashville. Yeah, had to get your Philly kick in there. You
Awesome.
It's perfect.
It's good to. I mean, I will always identify with Philadelphia. If I had to, pick a place that was home, that's a place I really associate with. It's definitely not here, but really.
Nashville is not doing it for you, huh? Is there? And we talked to. I guess we just talked to Hayes Carl a couple weeks back, who's in Nashville now, and he's a Texas guy. As far as the new Nashville, I mean, if I were to, you should never do this because you never know what somebody's art is going to be compared to their personality. But I would feel like Ron Gallo's music fits in well in new Nashville, but your personality may not be quite as sporadic or as wild as some of your songs, man. Give me what it's like being just someone who didn't grow up there, who's now there for work, and just kind of what you see on a daily basis when things aren't obviously locked down, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I've always felt pretty alien here because I don't know, what I do musically is not exactly when you think about Nashville. Which I do stuff like that. I do like intentionally the opposite sometimes. Like, I feel like if anything, what I'm doing now is more rooted in Philadelphia, but then I came to Nashville. I don't know. I'm always like chasing some weird thing, but yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of like when I moved down here, it's also the same. I really started touring a lot. So I moved to Nashville and I would be gone for at least half of the year. And Nashville was like 2 weeks at a time. And so I was basically like a ghost that came and went. But I don't know. I've become like a lot more introverted, I guess, over the last few years, where I'm just kind of like a homebody, and maybe touring kind of beat me down. But Nashville's a very small social town. Everyone's a musician. Right. And the last thing that I want to do ever is go to a gathering and have like the small talk, musician talk. And you can't go anywhere quiet. You always run into people. It's always, hey, dude, like, so how's the road been? And I'm just like, it's the last thing I want to talk about.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Right.
When you're not out there, I find I'm lucky because I've met some cool people in the music industry. So I'm spoiled. So I'm going on like 4 or 5 years of doing like radio, like all that. But I do a lot of comedy stuff. So whether they're good people or not, they'll make you think they are, and they'll entertain. And that flips. Like, I've been lucky. I've talked to some really nice people, and then I've gotten lucky with this little pocket of friends I've made. But prior to this, I definitely was like very harsh thinking towards music management and musicians. I'm just like, they're not living in reality, is how I thought. So somebody with that personality like yours that doesn't necessarily have time for that I see where that would just drive you nuts.
Yeah. It gets to be tough at times. And now it's different because I really haven't been out of the house in 4 months. So it's actually not much different. I'm kind of loving it. I mean, we have our places that we like to go, but a lot has been put in perspective because we got hit by a tornado, which destroyed our side of town. And it's funny because a couple of days before, so Kiara, she's sitting right here.
Oh, please say hello. You got it. You can't just
Yeah,
you
come
can't
in.
talk.
So she comes here. She came here from Italy. In January, we came back and we did the wedding, and then we came back to Nashville in February, and then basically a tornado hit and destroyed our side of town, and we were just kind of like settling back in. We're like, well, we're grateful for the spots that we like to go to, and then that happened shortly thereafter the pandemic, and we haven't really been out of the house, but she's put a lot of things in perspective too, coming from Italy, one of the greatest places on earth, most cultural places, and coming to the South during a time where the country is basically is a disaster. And having that perspective kind of helps me be more honest with myself about it. And it's, she loves Philly. She loves New York, the big city, the faster pace. Just the culture, like it feels vibrant.
Right.
And I think I need that too. Nashville could feel a little sleepy. I don't know. It's
no, it makes sense. I appreciate the honesty with that too, because it's something where it's like people get offended by weird things sometimes. So for you to not necessarily, I love this, by the way. Like, this is fantastic. How did you two meet? I gotta know.
So we met 2 summers ago. I was on tour over there. I had never been in Italy before, and we did a Just Italian tour. Second day of the tour got canceled, and our tour manager had some friends playing a beach venue in a town called Ravenna, and we're like, yeah, man, that's the greatest possible way we could spend our day off now. So we go. I immediately saw her because she has orange hair. I saw her from across the way. It was like a slow motion thing, and I was talking to our drummer about it. I was like, so then time passes, and I see our drummer talking to her.
Yeah,
because he's the social butterfly of the band. It's really impressive because he keeps in touch with people that we meet on the road. Like, we meet for 5 minutes, and he like texts them every day. He's like,
I love that.
So
yeah,
it stresses me out, but he's so good at it. But he's always the person that talks to people and engages with people. And so they started talking. I saw it as a chance to go up. And I went up and I was like, hi, I'm Ron. Nice to meet you.
That's it.
And she said her name, but I had no idea what it was because, her accent, her name's Kiara. And I was like, I walked away having like, I have no idea what that girl said her name was.
like, what's happening?
It was a sound, but I didn't like process it. So Dylan, of course, invited her to the show, which was 30 minutes from her house the next night. And she came with a friend of hers and we hung out for a little bit. And then she left right away. And I was like, oh, okay. And then her and Dylan kept in touch. And Dylan's like, you should come to the last show of the tour. So her and her friend came and did the same thing, stayed for the show. And it was me like, okay, we're going to get going now. Bye. I was like, what? And then instantly, just out of my mouth, I go, hi, do you want to come to my dad's house? I'm going to be doing a vacation because my dad has a place like 2 hours from her.
Sure.
And I'm like, I'm going to be there all next week. Do you want to come down there and just hang out with me? Like, it just came out.
And this is after your show.
This is after the show.
After the show. So creativity check mark. She was into the band. That would be really, I don't know if you could be with somebody like that if you didn't respect their art. So points to you.
Well, yes, oh, you can't hear.
I can.
Oh yeah. So points to you because you basically.
You guys met. Yeah. You signed off on him after you saw him play music. Like, that's important.
You saw me play, and then you were like, okay.
Whoa.
You're not going to that.
She didn't even know that he was a musician.
She didn't even know. I mean, at first, until she saw the show, and then she's a musician as well. So basically, as she came to my dad's house, she took a train. She was so proactive. She's like, all right, I booked the train ticket. I was like, whoa, I'm used to, all this bullshit. And, you're trying to hang out with people. Everyone plays games and everything's so difficult in this country. It's like, oh my God, wow. Okay, this is happening. I pick up the train. It was like instant. We've just been together ever since. I don't know. And it's been a process because immigration, getting kicked out of Italy, having to come back last summer. Like, we've dealt with, and it's getting worse. her having to leave here and the struggle just to be together. But in this moment, after 2 years and many processes, we did the wedding in January, and we're home, and she's allowed to be here, and it's all good. So.
Well, congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you.
And
Thank
I
you.
hate to break it when you tell these stories on my show. I actually have the rights to the story now. So I am going to go ahead and write that movie. And
Yes!
maybe I'll throw you a bone and put one of your songs in it or something. But
Hey, that's cool, yeah, man.
That's seriously
You
like
do like
that.
a pro bono, yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk. But
Okay, sounds good.
that's absolutely an indie rocker. Like that's such a great story, and I expect you to write up some kind of a screenplay out of that, man. That's fantastic. That's so
actually a
great.
good idea. We should do that.
Somebody told
I guess you don't think about it because
No, that's an insane story. That's really interesting, and I'm not
Yeah.
anything. That's a very interesting story. I was no
Well-
window dressing. That's great.
Yeah, I guess I never really thought about that. We've just been kind
just
of
thinking it.
like going through it, living it, and it's
Right.
just yeah. I mean, it's obviously changed both of our lives in ways that I never even thought I would ever go to Italy.
Me neither. Come over here.
I didn't think I'd
To
ever be
Nashville.
married to a person. Yeah, I mean,
Nashville.
and she's just like, what is wrong with this country and these people? I'm like, you're absolutely right. We are all deeply messed up in the way that we, just the way we look at stuff, the way we approach stuff, the way we work ourselves to death. I mean, there's so much to learn from the way people live there. And it puts it in perspective, having her like reflection back on it. Like,
That's a quick reminder. The person you love's in your house be like, hey, why don't you chill out a little bit?
yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, being over there, I struggled to just chill. Like I was like, I got to get shit done. I can't just sit around for 3 months and go to beaches. I have to.
There's my mom like, Ron, you gotta calm down. Like, chill.
Yeah.
Everything is fine. Relax.
Yeah, as I'm like, oh man, it's so wild. You're such a workaholic, Ron. That's great. I'm like, I'm on hour 13 today. You know, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, we're on
It's-
that constant quest to prove ourselves. I don't know what it is, but
I guess so, man. But
it's
no,
it's in us.
it's fantastic. The story's amazing, and thank you for including one more time on her name. One more time.
Chiara, Chiara.
Okay, I didn't want to screw it up because I for sure would have. But
You got it.
Chiara, Ron, are you up for playing a song? I'm
Let's
ready.
do a song.
Yeah,
Let's do a song. Okay,
It's
let's do a
with
song.
Chiara's blessing.
Yes, with your blessing.
Oh, yeah.
I actually, yeah.
Thank you.
I mean,
All my blessings.
we'll kick it with actually a song that I wrote for her. It's called "You Are Enough." It's I don't know. I guess something that everyone needs to be reminded of every once in a while, which actually is connected to what we were just talking about.
I love that. And hey, guys, we're giving away a T-shirt from Ron's merch store. We're gonna send that to you. Just hit share on the show. You can get that shirt. What's up, boss? You can get that from Ron's merch store. This is Ron Gallo. Take it away, buddy.
All right, this is "You Are Enough." You are enough. Fuck what they told you. Just 'cause you had the heart to wanna fix the broken, and they didn't know any better. So they did what hurt people do. They projected all the pain onto you. Now you gotta carry it around. This lie. Now you gotta carry it around for a lifetime. That you're not enough for someone to love. It's not true. It may take a while to unwind, but I will try to show you over time that you are enough. You just have to trust. That was just then, and here this is us. No, you don't have to carry it around. This lie, you don't have to carry it around for a lifetime. 'Cause you are enough for someone to love, it's true. get whatever doesn't serve you. If they can't see you, they don't deserve you. I'm talking to myself through you again. No one's ever gonna fill you up like you can. Oh, you are enough. Oh, you are enough. Yes.
You are enough.
You are enough. And so are you. You're enough. So are all of you listening.
Don't turn that effect. Don't you hit that pedal. Just talk to me with the thing.
Makes me so much more comfortable to have the slap back.
Do you feel in power now? Like this is kind of your show now, I think.
Yeah,
right?
and we have to switch sides. I have to go on the other side of the screen now. And
Yeah, you're gonna make it hard for Matt, but he'll do it. Do I have to kill one of my sons now? Is like that how this works? Like if you just start instructing me to do things.
I think that's a good start. We can go there, and then you have to eat that glass. You have to eat it whole when you're done your drink.
Yes.
And then we'll be good.
Voice from above.
You will repent.
Ron, not to just go straight to the lob questions for musicians, but I'm genuinely curious. Growing up in Philadelphia, and it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be the hardcore like the Beatles or Stones or something. Whenever you're in that Jersey, Philly area, who in thanks, Matt. It's officially Ron's show. I am curious, who's that band when you're early teens that you're like, whoa, that kind of, I don't even know if they had to inspire you, but who were you super into whenever you were first kind of realizing what music even was, right?
Well, you brought it up earlier. The first songs that I learned on guitar were Blink-182 and Green Day songs. So, if you're talking about the beginning, and that's evolved.
But we can still admit, like, those hit us, man.
Oh my God.
Dude,
yeah.
Do you know what Damn It did to my 12-year-old soul? It was amazing. Yeah.
Everything.
Hello, Ron, are you there?
No, I'll never forget that. It was one of the first things I learned.
It's so great to hear that, man. I'm glad that we can make that connection, dude. Whenever they signed that T-shirt, and I'm standing there talking to them, and at this point, like, you're literally like, wow, I'm like twice the size of my heroes or whatever. Or whatever, at the point. I think Tom was tall or something. But either way, that's such a surreal moment. Did you ever see them live? I do. My first big concert was them. My dad took it. To this day, I've never seen, and now it's kind of weird to talk about because I was like 15, so probably all the other fans were 15. I've never seen more topless girls at a show in my life than the Mark, Tom, and Travis show tour in, what was that, 2000? Whenever that was going out. I don't even think Travis was on the tour, but that to this day, I was
really?
What was happening? I think he broke his arm or leg or something. And I think about that today because I've been to a jillion shows at this point, and the style mixes it up, but I've never seen so many people doing that. And I think about it now, I'm like, I bet there were like 20-year-olds there that were like, why are all these high schoolers getting half naked at this thing? But
yeah, it was a revolution. Blink was. That was the moment. That was the timing.
Yeah. And now Tom DeLonge is shepherding us into aliens existing. And I think that's, you talk about a movie, it doesn't even get put into the script. It's so wild.
It is wild. You can't expect that when you're a kid. You can't look ahead and be like, yeah, that's where this is gonna go. But it went there.
The dudes who got famous from the parody music video, one of them will be part of a leading UFO research group. Okay. Right. Hello. That's where we are.
Sure.
Listen, I'm having a blast talking to you, man, but I know people are tuning in to see some tunes. You got another one up the old sleeve there? Do you just have a whole album based on your lovely Italian wife? Like, what's going on?
We've made I finished up a bunch of recordings during this quarantine period. She's singing and playing on them, and
that's great.
Yeah, it's coming together. It's changed the music a lot. I don't know. I'm just always, you always got to create from whatever is going on in life. So, so maybe a little joy. I'm always been on like the dark side, like critical social commentary. It's important, but I'm just trying to have a good time.
This is silly, Ron. Look out, everybody.
I know. Well, speaking of that, we might as well. This is a little bit combination of both. It's from the last record, Stardust Birthday Party, and it's called "It's All Gonna Be Okay." And I feel like it's good for now because the verses are like the chaos, and then the reminder. It's all gonna be okay.
Guys, hit share on the stream. You can win a Ron Gallo T-shirt, and we'll make it happen. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, I also am aware that a lot of these songs do not transfer well over to solo, so I did this sort of fucked up, like sort of bossa version of it. So. Ingredients, WebMD, complacency is killing me. Human, dead deer, Stardust birthday party, yeah. It's all gonna be okay. It's all gonna be okay. Soup can, trash mountain, thoughts of death during intimacy. It's presidents, vomit, discounts on gasoline. It's all gonna be okay. It's all gonna be okay. Comment sections, bad directions, black, white, yellow, red, blue, and green. Man, woman, trans, gay, none, all are straight. It's all gonna be okay. 'Cause we are all the same. I say I am everything. I am light, love, this, that, you, them, everything. It's all gonna be okay. It's all gonna end someday. Jazz outro, solo, freeform. Okay. A lot of stuff missing there. The recorded version is very different.
Well, and if you want to, you guys can go to the Media Outlaws YouTube page. Ron did a Gaslight session when he was in St. Louis with our producer, Matt, who's off screen. Matt's a very talented videographer, and Media Outlaws did that. And Matt was just over here, like, dorking out, like dancing to this. He's like, I've heard the live version. This is really cool that it's stripped down. Like, you guys had that intimate moment. But yeah, do go check that out. The Gaslight session with Ron Gallo, very cool and very well done, as all those Gaslight sessions are. So is that tough? I know you just said all the music that you're writing is a little different. You're collaborating with your wife and in different areas, but is that nice to kind of maybe flex a muscle that you weren't working quite as much? Like, would that just have naturally happened, or do you feel like it was kind of forced a bit just due to the circumstances?
So much. I mean, I've always been the kind of person that gets really into something, like obsessive, and does a bunch of stuff, and then I'm like completely onto something new. And so it's, for me, it's a constant evolution, and it can actually be kind of annoying sometimes because it's like hard to keep up. And so, cause like, especially when you're on tour and you're playing songs, like I get tired of stuff really quick. So, when I was making music this time, I took the last year off, and I just kind of said to myself, I was like, I know what people kind of know me for, what I've done traditionally for the last few years. But I'm like, I don't really care about any of that. I just kind of want to make stuff that is a combination of all of it. Because I wasn't doing that. Like, I think I was sort of focused on like one portion of myself, what I was into. It's like, I think it's time to like let it all in there. And that's kind of where I'm at now, which is why it's so different. But it's like, for me, it's the more honest thing to do than just be like, oh, well, people expect a certain thing, so just stay in that lane. I'm like kind of doing the opposite
How does that work out with the guys? And you do have a band, right? That you play with typically. Does that work creatively between you all? Do you mix it up? Do you like, hey, I don't necessarily need a full band now? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so we were a solid band for a few years, and then last summer, we had finished up a tour, and we kind of collectively decided it was time to take a break. And I knew that I needed to I was burnt out. Like, I hated music at one point, and I couldn't tour anymore. Mentally, I was all off. So I kind of said, I was like, guys, I need to take time off and refigure out what I'm trying to do. And the reception was like, well, that's fine, do your thing, but we're going to kind of we're going to find other gigs and keep moving forward, because we can't. I was like, absolutely, like, respect, like, do what you got to do, while I figure this out. So I'm at a point now where I'm kind of just freeform. Like, I can put together whatever I want and experiment a bit. Like, Kiara's been playing bass. She's a cellist, so like she's now playing bass, 4 strings and singing
wild.
with me.
You're gonna put out some wild stuff together, right? Like this.
Yeah. The palette is there's a lot of new stuff in the mix now, and it's we've just kind of play with different drummers, and I don't know, when the world opens back up, I kind of want to have like maybe a 5-piece. I've always been a 3-piece. I don't know. It's free now to just kind of rebuild it. So.
That does have to feel nice, especially too whenever you're in Nashville and you can just walk out into the street and just kind of ring a bell, and you've got 50 studio musicians at each instrument lined up to be like, oh,
exactly.
You have a name? Oh, yeah. We can play whatever you want, dude.
Exactly. No, it really is like that. All the neighbors.
Yeah, right. And then it's either that. Okay, so it's either that. I'm trying to decide you two's future, and maybe we write this into the film, maybe we don't. But hear me out on this part. It's either that, or you two do like a super experimental thing. And I don't even know if Saddle Creek Records is still around, but I think that's the label. I think that's the label. The cellist. Yeah, I think that's the way to go.
Thinking about Cursive? What the band Cursive?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. When you hear cello, like experimental cello rock music, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
That would be a good move.
See, I'm plotting your every move, Ron. I'm looking out for you, buddy.
I feel like we're answering a lot of these big life future questions right now. Thank you.
Wait till I bother you and we just talk for 2 hours on a regular podcast. Like, this is gonna get weird. I'm looking forward to it.
I feel like we're hanging. Like, this is the closest I've felt to hanging in so long. It's nice.
It is. I look forward to this stuff too. And again, too, I cannot stress enough. Cool people that introduce you to other cool people. It's like a 90% success rate on, like, you're gonna have some sort of a decent time. So yeah. As I have a few times already. Shout out to Katie Tupin for setting this up. Yeah. What up, Katie? Yeah. You got 2 songs left. I don't know what you got up your sleeve, man. I'd love to hear another one.
All right, let's do it. I'm trying to think which direction we want to go in here.
Yeah, I got him thinking all experimental now.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about like all the, the dystopian. So we could go that route, or we could just keep it up. What song do you suggest I play? Oh, All the Punks. Yeah, we could go that way. I mean, are we feeling heavy right now? Do we want to get
after it, Ron? I see the smile on your face, and I would like that to continue. So yes, play that song.
All right, let's do it. We're gonna go there. We're gonna go there, and then we're gonna have fun. We're gonna do the last one. We're gonna enjoy ourselves.
Let's do it.
The song's called "All the Punks Are Domesticated." It's a song from the first record called Heavy Meta. I wrote this song 5-6 years ago. And I had a moment last week because while we were practicing it, I realized that all of it came true. And it's crazy. Okay. Domesticated,
All of the freaks have gone to bed. All of the pioneers are saved for information tech. Oh, wrinkled and dead. They're dead. Now every room is sterilized. All risk is paralyzed. Meanwhile, the Pop-Tarts climb the pop charts. The blood clots block your heart parts. And no one really has anything to say. All of the rock stars are behind the bar, serving computers with acoustic guitars. It's a travesty, rock and roll matinee, songs about sunny days or love in a pretty way. All of our expression is uniform. All of our food is mostly chloroform. It's not even a secret, it's easily accessible, just like anything on the planet. And no one really minds, it's just a sign of the times to numb your dime a dozen mind. In a world that gave everyone a voice, we have no other choice, we're all so important. Tell me about yourself, tell me about yourself, tell me about yourself. I will be forgotten in 2 generations. What will have been my big mark? A couple little tears dangling in the dark. An impressive collection of digital remarks. An apple falls at the park where your body lay. Deep within the clay, it's just another day. Where all cops are programmed to serve and protect scared white people in nice neighborhoods. Always read the small print. All the people with power are psychopaths. They refuse to wear a mask because they know they're already wearing like 50 of them. And the most violent people are the most terrified. Jesus was not white with blue eyes. America is built on genocide. The protesters did not start the fire. And I know I'm probably preaching to the choir. But the topic of life should never be political. It's the one thing we all have in common. And on your deathbed, you won't be proud of what you earned or the hurt you caused. You'll remember when your heart was soft. And these things, days to feel backwards insane. But it might just be growing pains. I wrote this song 6 years ago and it all came true. I guess what you think about eventually becomes you. And all of the punks are domesticated. All of the freaks have gone to bed.
Thank you for playing that. That was fantastic. That was, you know what? That song put me in a place. I went and I was with a friend, and I'm going to make this about me. You play this beautiful, heartfelt song. Thank you. I think that song like literally put me in a place. I remember, and I'm into good music and stuff like that, but I remember going and meeting a comedian friend in somewhere in a nice part of Los Angeles. I don't know, where like you would probably see 10 celebrities at lunch, right? And we go, and of course, dummy from St. Louis is like, well, I better wear a sport coat and like the St. Louis suit with jeans, like, let's be casual, but let's do it. And I go and I step out of the car, and I was like, and this is only like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. And I step out of the car and I go walk up to lunch, and I'm like, start looking around. I'm like, I look like a cheap agent. Like, what is happening? Like, I thought I should look like nice. And I walk up and I meet my friend, and he's in like a Misfits, like sleeveless t-shirt with like, skinny, like tight pants and like bondage boots and stuff. And this is a guy who's like on a TV show and like kind of, I don't know. And I look around and I'm like, wait, we're in like a really nice restaurant right now. And you all are trying to out 7th grade skateboard each other, and that was my personal moment where I was like, it's all over, like it's done.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's yes.
Thank you for taking me back there.
I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad. It is those moments, like those realizations, like, oh shit, things have really gotten far away from the point, and that is not good for the future, maybe, but.
Hey, yeah, we all. Hey, what are you gonna do? So you said you've been recording. Let's get some promo out there, man. Are you gonna release anything? Like Bandcamp's a phenomenal way to put stuff out. They've been doing a lot of really cool like artist drives where like you guys make a little more money. Are you gonna release anything? Like, are you recording anything that you're gonna put out that's a little? And where you're at, you could probably walk and go into a world-class studio. But what's the plans for new music?
So I finished up like 7 songs right when the quarantine period started that I've been working on for the last year. So I basically what I'm doing is I released the first single on June 10th, and I'm going to put out a song every 3 weeks. So another one just came out on July 1st. And then, every 3 weeks I'm just going to put out a new song, and then it's just eventually going to become an album. Like it's going to fall together. And that's kind of what I'm doing. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that your management, or I don't even know how much you let those kind of people like work with you. I'm sure there's different relationships, but I don't think there's a wrong way to do that with entertainment now, especially right now.
Right. I mean, this was, working with my label, they were like, they couldn't even wrap their head around this idea because they've never done anything like it. But with the state of the world, I was kind of like, there's no rush. There's not going to be any touring. I don't need to worry about making vinyl records right now. Let's just kind of slowly put stuff out gradually, make it kind of like a series that people can kind of engage with and hear new stuff. And just trying that. It's eventually going to become a record later in the year. So that's musically. 2 of them are out. You Are Enough, the first song I played, and the next song I'm going to play are both out. Another one coming July 22nd. So those on Spotify. I'm also self-shooting and directing a music video for all of them. So that's a whole other new thing that I'm learning how to do, green screening.
If you guys feel like a road trip to St. Louis, you got a whole studio just waiting for you with the green screen and everything. Hit us up, man.
Yeah, we might need to do that because I'm like tapping out. I'm like learning how to do all this stuff. So people can watch. You go watch the You Are Enough video, watch the Hide Myself Behind You video. You'll see like what I'm learning. I
like it. That stuff's not easy.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. It's been good to learn new stuff too. I mean, it keeps me busy. And aside from that, I launched this thing called Really Nice last year, and it's a constantly evolving project. It's like a blog website for my thoughts, but then it became a digital festival I ran it for 9 weeks when the quarantine started, and it was like comedy, music, shit like that. Fizzled out. And then I launched like the clothesline part of it, which the What's Up Boss shirt is from. And just doing interviews with like random, I don't know, just trying to keep myself busy. So Really Nice and new music. That's what I got. So.
Yeah, well, check that out. We got one more song from Ron Gallo. Again, too, you can win that T-shirt. I do want to shout out, so earlier, our guy, E.T., who he thought, I do love this part of like things like this. E.T., an accomplished dude himself, he was like, yeah, like 5 months ago, Ron came up in my bands you should listen to on Spotify. And now he's like on the show. Like, how great is that? I kind of enjoy those moments still too. So shout out to ET. And then we asked people to tell us about the first autograph they got in the comments. And I'd be remiss not to mention my mother dropping a comment saying that John Denver signed one of her albums. So shout out to John Denver and shout out to my mom. So awesome.
Yeah, am I allowed to share mine real quick?
I would love, oh yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, if you don't mind, just because.
No, you're not
It's one of
eligible
my
for the
favorite
prize.
I know,
I don't feel like you would use the Jack Daniels bar equipment enough.
Yeah, you mail it to me, and then I'll mail it to the actual winner. You could just be like, I'll siphon it through me. So the first autograph that I ever got in my life, I was in middle school, and I had a bit of an obsession with Mandy Moore when she first came out. Like, I loved her.
Ron,
the Candy, you know?
Dude, tall,
we live in the
cute
same-
girl. Bro, yeah. You're me if I didn't love food and alcohol so much. Like, it's
So you know when that Candy video came out, I'm a middle school kid, so I'm like was obsessed with her, and so I found out she was coming to a skating rink in South Jersey to do a meet and greet, and my mom is a hairdresser, and I wanted to look cool for Mandy because I was going to meet her potentially. So I actually pulled this photo up when you guys were talking about it in hopes that I'd get to do this, but. Basically, I think in her music video, I saw a kid that's whatever guy she liked in the video, that I think he had like like Eminem bleach blonde hair. So I knew Mandy was coming. I was going to go. My mom's a hairdresser. So like, Mom, I want you to bleach my hair. So I made
her. Get the big camera. Put the... Ron. Oh, it's amazing.
So I said, Mom, I want to like make me look like Eminem. And so I was going to my dad's house for the weekend, and I show up to his place, and he was pissed. He's like, what did you do to your head? He's like, you're not going anymore. So me and my friend Steve, who were supposed to go meet Mandy, my dad did not let us go. We missed out on Mandy. He made us watch like Leave It to Beaver. Like it was brutal. It was so fucked up. In retrospect, it's so fucked up. But so what happened was, obviously, like
I'll tell you what happened. His son went on to make a bunch of crazy, wild albums because of that moment. You're a monster now. No, what happened? Sorry.
Okay, so obviously, incredibly bummed that happened, and I wasn't able to go. But then, some family friend that was going to it got me a signature, and we basically said, "We'll get you a signature." And for you, and you can just like drive to our house like 30 minutes away and you can pick it up. So I remember driving to this person's house and they left it in their mailbox. It was a piece of lined notebook paper with Mandy Moore's signature on it. And like, that was it. That was the whole thing.
They couldn't even get like the sticker. Like they didn't even get like a her with like even a package of candy even or whatever. Yeah.
They're like, hey, can you sign this lined piece of notebook paper for our sad friend that couldn't come because he bleached his hair?
Don't mind the middle school algebra. Dude, that's the best story. Like, it's horrific now, especially due to my also appreciation of Mandy Moore. Like, that's unbelievable. So wait, have you played she doesn't really perform though now, does she? I was like, there will be a time where it will make financial sense for her to do a Lollapalooza or something, you know it. Like that's how that stuff works. There could be an X-axis. Like, just tell her the story. I mean, obviously your wife will be with you and all that stuff, but tell her the story, or maybe we'll just tag her and maybe she'll pick it up. Who knows? That's the best story I've heard.
I'm glad. I really wanted to share because it popped in my head when you guys were talking about it. By the way, that Mind Games thing with the record, that is crazy. That you guys are talking about. Yeah, that was wild.
With John Lennon? Like what? Like that's not. Like that's ET. Crazy. He pulls out a story like that, like each week, and I'm like, what? No wonder you get to be the guy for Jack Daniels in the United States. So that makes sense.
He's got like an endless surplus of interesting stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah, it really is. And I wanted to say this too. I relate with the blonde hair thing because I played basketball. So like, I don't know why, but apparently when you're in a rural town in Missouri, like you have to like all kind of dye your hair, like that stupid blonde thing. Like we all had that moment. and it's such a capture in time. And when I see kind of some kids do it now, I'm like, oh man. I'm like, I don't know. You don't need that. Thank you for sharing that, by the way. That was it's
Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for letting me be here. This is so much fun. I'm not thinking about anything else.
well, don't be a stranger, man. I know you got one more song, and this is another new one.
Yeah, this is another one. This one came out a week ago, exactly a week ago today. So it's called "Hide Myself Behind You."
Ron Gallo.
All right. It's good. Okay.
The unbearable tone of silence. I fill the empty space with a pretty face, call it my lover. And when I feel bad inside, I'll just blame it where I hide. Yeah. I would love to hide from myself behind you. I would love to hide from myself behind you. I drew this cartoon of you, so perfect, so true. What do you think of it? It doesn't look like you, but more how I want you to, but I still love it. And when you don't live up to it, I'll question everything. Yeah, yeah, I got all kinds of fucked up parts. Yeah, I got fears and issues, sides that might make you wish you could only see what you want to see. But I'm a human being. Inside me there's a little bit of everything. Lots of good, but also parts of myself I cannot stand to even look at. Oh, but here you are, makes all my ugly seem so far. It might be a while before you might see it. I just hope you can see me through it, because seriously, seriously. I would love to hide from myself behind you. I would love to hide from myself behind you. Myself behind you. Myself behind you.
Ron Gallo with the new tunes. If you guys haven't checked it out, please do go check that out. You're going to go down a rabbit hole, and you're going to enjoy all the old stuff, and all this new stuff sounds awesome too. Ron, we are going to give away that T-shirt, so guys, make sure you've shared the stream. Real quick, again, do you want people to follow your Instagram? I feel like it is funny too, because just getting to know you a little bit, you're like, don't know if you're somebody who would think social media could be kind of fun because you're creative, or if it's the bane of your existence. Do you want people to follow your Instagram or hate follow you? How does that work?
Oh, it's both. It's a love-hate relationship. But yeah, no, please follow the Instagram. I mean, I'm on it all day, every day, like everybody, mindlessly scrolling for no fucking reason. Yeah, follow the Instagram. It's just Ron Gallo, my name, one word. Same thing with Twitter. The website's rongallomusic.com, reallynice.world. That's where I am. That's where I'm, sharing whatever is going on.
I think you're the perfect person to ask this too. If you were recruited and you got to pick, now they had to be, and we'll just say that, take this in the spirit it's intended, has to be a bigger draw than you. Like if they play, it can be 100 more seats or whatever else. Who would you go up against in an Instagram versus battle? And you have to respect them. Who would your choice be to go up? I think you're the perfect guy to ask this question to.
So the idea of that is you kind of play each like one of your tracks, and they play a track, and it's kind
Sure.
of
Nelly did St. Louis bad. He had a bad Wi-Fi connection when he went up against what was it? Matt, was it Ludacris that Nelly?
It
went up
was
against?
ludicrous, yes.
That was a tough one. That was a tough one for Nelly's Wi-Fi and St. Louis as a city.
oh man. 'Cause
Anyone from Philadelphia that you respect? That's a bad question to ask.
I mean, so many. It's hard to say because Philly's like, oh man.
But then you get the Jersey connection too. Like I can think of a few people.
Yeah. Oh, that is. My head's going like all over the place with
But
this.
who would you want to spend an hour with going through their collection? Is the thing.
Oh, probably like Tyler the Creator.
Of course, that's a great answer. That is
better
than any answer I could. Like you could have just copped out and be like, "Yeah, war on drugs" or something. Like it's just like something like regional. But
yeah, I feel like that would be the dream scenario to like go back and play like all kinds of weird shit, like buried stuff, experimental stuff, and just like hang and talk about jazz.
Again, this is another entertainment idea. Maybe we'll see that on Adult Swim someday.
Mandy. Oh yeah.
Right. Another correct answer could have been Mandy Moore. Just, I mean,
Can
putting
you
it out
imagine? That would be so funny. She plays like she plays Candy, and then I play like the heaviest song that I have.
Right. Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think I like that where it's like, but I feel like, at least in my heart of hearts, like she'd be cool about it. She'd
Oh, for sure.
right. She would be like, that's not just our interpretation of Mandy. Like she's actually cool.
Absolutely.
Okay. We've got a plan. Ron, I can't say enough good things about you, man. This is an absolute treat to have you on. I'd love to
you,
chat
man. No.
anytime, man.
Let's hang in real life when we can, and yeah, let's just keep talking. I'm really grateful that I got to do this. This was insanely fun.
So
You're the man. You the man.
You hear that? You hear that, Matt? Take that.
Man.
You hear that, Jack Daniels? That's right. Ron Gallo says, I'm the man. Ron, I'm excited to talk to you more. I want people to go check out all the new music coming out.
Please.
Unbelievable, man. We'll do it again soon. Thank you so much. Give my best to your wife as well. Thank you.
We'll do it.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Tune in next week. I believe. What is the date? We have Tonina next week. You'd be into Tonina. She's very talented. So we'll have Tonina on next week. Obama endorsed her. So I'd say that's almost as good as a Drinks with the Band endorsement. Guys, till next week. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.